Today on Mom2Mom Parenting the Neurodiverse, I suggest finding the strength that your child has within them. And considering the neurodiverse diagnosis, there are so many strengths out there to recognize and to build on. So for example, one of the neurodiversity strengths that mine has is empathy for certain things. Okay, so if you trigger the empathy that she cares about, then you are dealing with somebody that is so sweet and so genuine and so open. It's amazing, right? But if you approach it from a space that's not the strength, then you just don't get the best out of the individual. You know, I used to say to one of my clients, explain to them that the world is not going to meet them where they are. They have to bend for the world. And I do believe they still have to bend for the world, but not completely. Having their own perspective and having their own way of dealing with certain situations is super, super important. And once you recognize that that's how they deal with certain situations, then you really want to double down and dig deeper, because when they recognize that there's something that they could potentially be good in, and then you recognize that there's something that they are particularly good in, and you mention it in a way that's kind of offhand, right? But yet still significant. It matters so much. So for example, like we're running around and getting something done, and I know that they really care, that, for example, I don't fall. Right? I know it's a silly thing. I'm not an old person, but I'm super, super clumsy. And they know I'm super clumsy. And they don't want me to fall, because then everything is going to slow down and we're not going to get anywhere quickly if I have fallen, right? So really recognizes, for example, when there is an extra step, or we're on the street and approaching a curb, or if the sidewalk or the street is really kind of jacked up and messy and lots of holes and ways to like trip and hurt yourself. Really cognizant of it, and will constantly be like, Mom, look down where you're going, because the street is not great for you and I don't want you to hurt yourself. And then I'm like, oh, taking that moment out of, their cognitive, game that's going on in their head, and then stepping out of it to say, wait a second, my mom is trying to do something for me, and this is something that she doesn't do very well because she's clumsy, but I'm going to care about that. And that's really what makes you feel like the best mom possible, because you have shown them something that they're really good at, and you've allowed them to continue to nurture that trait. So I hope everybody's great. This is Mom2Mom and Parenting Neurodiversity, and I thank you for subscribing. Please tell your friends about Include Us World on YouTube, and thank you again. Have a great one.